Well, this whole Rat Louse situation really isn't how we saw our summer going. Never could I have imagined this happening in our home. I still have a zillion unanswered questions to this whole mess, and I really can't think of any real answers for how our boys ended up with lice, but I suppose if I had any of the answers, it might only drive me more crazy. So I know there's a lot of rat lovers out there who don't believe in bathing your rats, and honestly, it's not really something we ever thought we needed to do for them, unless of course they were unable to clean themselves for some reason, but we didn't feel right about leaving any ickiness on them. Both of our boys were treated with Revolution, and they've had 2 doses this month, and even though we knew there shouldn't be anything still alive on them, we didn't feel right about leaving anything on them. Think about it. If you had lice in your hair, I'm sure you would not want to leave any in your hair, even if it were dead, right? So I bathed both of our boys to try and get off anything that might still be on them. Now, both of our boys were already exposed to water, and they both love playing in water. So I didn't feel like it would be too traumatic for them. But if you don't go about it carefully, bath time can indeed be extremely traumatic for a rat. Had we not been using like shampoo and stuff, we probably would have included some treats and some toys. But for my mind state, I just couldn't really include any of that, unfortunately. Mr. Honeybun didn't lather up so well, but I didn't want to use too much shampoo because it would be difficult to rinse off quickly if I had. So we just worked with what we had, and I combed him while the shampoo was still on him, and a lot of orange ickiness came off. He had more boo-boos though on him than I had thought, as they were hiding under his fur, and he was probably a bit more sensitive because of that. But I was very careful, and even though he did squeak a couple times, he did very well. If you check our daily shorts, we'll probably post a video of Mr. Honeybun where you'll be able to hear one of his squeaks. If he was upset though, he wouldn't be shy to bite, as he is a biter, if you mess with his schedule and his routines, or if he thinks you are coming at him wrongly, or if he mistakes your fingers for food. Otherwise, he is very sweet and loving, and he would never bite. When he got rinsed and towel dried, I believe we both felt a sense of relief, as it was the start for putting this whole nightmare behind us. Ziggy did excellent with his bath too, and a lot of the nastiness came off on him onto the comb. But after I rinsed him, I noticed he still had a bunch of white dandruff looking stuff still on him, and I did my best to comb off as much as I could, though it could be legit dandruff, as our boys have always had little dry spots. But this white stuff seemed to be sticking to his fur, so I couldn't be 100% sure, which quickly became my every thought, and if I'm being honest, I'm still kind of like concerned about that, because even though I don't think anything would be alive anyway, it's just, that's nasty. Why would you leave that on your rat? You know what I mean? So I did my best though to get it all off. He does seem to have a couple more flakes still left on him, but I'm hoping that, that's not the nastiness. We did end up doing another comb through with no shampoo, and as I said, there were still a few small white flakes, but there were no orange, and I believe we are officially in the clear. I have only been itching from the outside bugs, but I'm telling you, this whole thing has had me itching like crazy, and at one point I couldn't tell why I was itching anymore, or, if anything was really there. The outside bugs, though, really seemed to be extremely attractive to me, because they were all over me like every day when I'd go out to our pool. Although I finally had a few good days, which has eased my anxiety a little bit. And I don't know if that's due to the new spray I bought or not, but you know, thank goodness. I've always been extremely cautious about anything and everything I do for and with our rodent friends. But this nightmare has had me so freaked out, it's just really been driving me mad, as I am extremely terrified and paranoid about like every little thing now. It's just so frustrating. It's just so frustrating. I hadn't been picking our boys up because I was scared of causing it to spread, even though I believe this to be only rat species specific, but I have also been scared of getting any more ickies on me because it was just so not fun. I feel terrible for our boys though, because they have had these nasty things living on them, and it's just not right. So now that they're all cleaned up, I hope I can get my mind to calm down so that I can hold them without the fear again. Our boys have been holding up so well though, and they've been very understanding and tolerant. I had to switch them over to the disposable cage liners, for instance, because it made our lives much easier, and they have both been so good about it, even though I know they miss their fleece, but no worries because they'll get their fleece back soon. Since I was cleaning their houses much more often, it was just too much with the fleece. Another thing that we wanted to let everyone know is that when you're cleaning your rat's house, you really want to make sure that you're cleaning it properly. I'm sure that most rat lovers absolutely know what they are doing, but we just wanted to kind of share some things that we've discovered. For instance, we were using the cage wipes a lot. The main reason we did this was because it was time saving. However, the wipes do not pick everything up all the time, and they can't scrub the cage down the way that, you know, a scrub brush could or a sponge with an abrasive side could. Therefore, if you do use the cage wipes, we would suggest only using them maybe at most every other week. And then that way you can get, you know, a more thorough scrub. What we've been doing during this nightmare is we've been using a sponge with an abrasive side and throwing it away after we're done with it. And we throw it away because sponges can actually hold bacteria. And you can rinse it off, you can wash it, and you can even microwave it to kill the bacteria. But, well, really the microwave is the only thing that's actually going to kill the bacteria, but you're not going to be able to see the bacteria. So therefore, we just feel it's best to just throw it away. And obviously you can do whatever you want, but we're just trying to, you know, kind of share some things that we've noticed a lot more lately. Paper towels are great too, and we've used them to wipe the cages and houses down, but the thing with that is they're not going to give you like a great scrub. It's not a scrub brush, you know, or it's not a sponge with an abrasive side, so therefore it's not going to get that deep thorough cleaning. And that's definitely something that you want to do. If you're going to use the paper towels or if you're going to use the cage wipes, that's great. I use the Dawn and a sponge, or like I said, you can use paper towels. But the thing is, I think at least once a month, you should probably really use like a scrub brush or a sponge with an abrasive side that you could throw away afterwards, because that way you're getting that deep, thorough cleaning. It was really a huge difference to see how much dirt and stuff was coming off of their cage when I used the abrasive side of the sponge as opposed to the wipes. And the wipes have these little like bubblies on them, So you can get like a little bit of a decent scrub, but it's not the same type of scrub. It's not that thorough deep scrub. So anyway, I'm sure some people are like, yo, you just got money to like throw away, on them sponges. Well, the thing is, no, I don't. However, I got a 4-pack of sponges for less than $2, and for my peace of mind, it's worth it. And also to ensure a little bit more of their health and safety, it's worth it. Okay, so I went through those sponges within like 2 weeks because I was cleaning their cages like every 3 days or so, but as opposed to only once a week. But if you're only going to use it once a week, like if you only do full cleanings once a week, that would only be 4 sponges per month. And like I said, I got a 4-pack for less than $2, and I'm pretty sure that that's not like too much. You might even be able to find them even cheaper. I know that some dollar stores have them, so you may be able to get like a 2-pack for $1, and then that way you're only paying like $2. But it depends on I guess where you're getting them from. They could even be more expensive, I guess, depending on where you're getting them from. But it's definitely worth it, I feel, because like I said, it just gives them a little bit more, safety and anything concerning their happiness, their health, or their safety is totally worth the money to me. Just have to, I guess, make that decision for yourself, but it's just a suggestion, so that's all it is. You can either roll with it or leave it alone. That's totally up to you, obviously. So anyway, though, the other thing is the bars of their cages. Now, I didn't really think to wipe them down that often, but after this nightmare, I'm going to suggest wiping it all down like every other week. But that may also depend on your rats, because our boys are kind of messy and totally careless of where they're making their messes. They don't really care if they're kicking their poos and food or bedding or whatever out of their houses. They don't care about that. So if your rats are more neat, then you may not need to worry about it as much, because there may not be that much, touching the bars. But I would suggest wiping all the bars and everything down at least once a month. So I have a scheduling book. It's like a monthly calendar thing, and every day I write down little things that have happened or that I've done. I always mark when they've gotten a spot clean for the day. For instance, when Lucy had lost her teeth, our little dwarf hamster, I marked it in our book. Obviously, when this nightmare occurred, I marked it in the book. Every week, I'll make a list of all the things that we need to accomplish. So if, for instance, wiping down the bars of their houses were one of the things on the list, I would have wrote it down, and when I completed it, I would have checked it off. So we would suggest making a little list. And honestly, I don't know, it kind of makes us feel good when we check something off. So maybe it'll make you feel good about, what you're accomplishing as well. But that way, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, you'll have it down on paper, you'll know what you gotta do, and then you'll know if you accomplished it. Now, I know if like bigger things like cleaning their houses fully and stuff, you'll probably be able to easily remember that, right? But if, for instance, you notice something maybe a little strange, like maybe you notice a little white speck or something on your rat's fur, but didn't really think nothing of it, Well, if you mark it in your book that you saw this, then, you know, if, God forbid, later you realize there's a little bit more to it, and, you know, maybe there's a problem, you'll be able to pinpoint, like, when this might have started or something, because you'll have written that in your book. Well, of course, you could also end up like us and have kind of no idea when this started, even though you do write stuff in your book. So it may or it may not help, but I just think that way, you know what you did, and you can keep track of, you know, the really important things. For instance, the revolution we are definitely going to be using on all of our fur babies once a month, and I'll be able to make sure that we keep track of it, of what we gave and when we gave to who, you know, because I'll have marked it on our calendar. And then that way, when next month rolls around, there'll be no questions as to when they should receive their dose. It really does help, though, to keep track of things, and gives us a little bit more peace of mind. So again, it's a suggestion. Get yourself a little scheduler book, or don't. That's up to you. Or maybe you already have one, I don't know. Anyway, in the description, we'll leave a link for the revolution we use, which we get without a prescription, and we suggest stocking up, because you never know when you might need it, and it's not something you want to have to wait for. We'll be using it as a preventative method from now on, and we suggest all ratties do the same. In fact, our guineas and hammies will also be using it as a preventative each month. Also, we'll leave a link for the Rat Safe shampoo that we use. It's a great brand, and we absolutely love their products. Lastly, we wish everyone a happy, healthy, safe, rat-tastic summer, and we can't wait to get back to our summer fun soon so we can share some more awesome summer adventures with you. Thanks for joining us on this totally not so fun adventure. Hope you'll check back with us soon.